Welcome one and all to the reset button for episode 6. Well, actually episode 7. I did not get that updated actually on the screen here. No, this is episode 7. With this one, we're going to be talking a little bit of what you would expect when it comes to seeing me and one other person on the screen here. And we're going to learn a little bit from person number 3 as well. We're going to be talking about collecting here. But before we jump into it and start really getting into the meat of the matter, of course, we have to go around the table and learn who everybody is. We have Mr. Johnny Chase.
And me. Also, editor, down below it says episode 6 Disney discussion. Should
Yes.
type that there.
Yeah, we got to get that fixed.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have Liz.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be back. Hope you're all doing well.
Yeah, it's been a challenging day. It has. Has it been a challenging day for anybody else? It's been one of those...
Yeah. It has been.
Life is so hard.
Real life is so hard. I just prefer to be on internet life right now.
Yeah, for real. Like, until someone gets canceled. Not pointing fingers at anyone.
Oh, no.
Just kidding. I'm not going to wish that upon any of us.
No, we behave around here.
Internet.
No, this is the place where we behave and we do good things. And we talk about video games. We actually talk about video games.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're going to talk about today. But it's not just going to be video game collecting. I think I hinted at that earlier, but we're not going to get into the super nitty gritty of that right off the bat. We're also going to talk about the biggest spoils we've collected and the unfortunate ones. The ones that broke our hearts, man, and got away. They got away. So I think it should be a really fun episode. It's a good topic. We'll have a lot of stuff. I know I brought my show and tell. What about you two?
Oh, no.
No. For mine, if I have anything left that's of any significance, it'll pop in my brain. I'll run and grab it there. I'm sure there's something in there. I have well over 200 PS2 games, and I'm sure something there is super duper valid. Actually, no, one that there is. I don't think I can grab it because everything's out of order right now. I do own a copy of Mr. Mosquito that I bought before the local store I get all my stuff from, before PS2 really blew up again and got big. They were just fire selling all their games, so it was you go in there, they're $2 or $3 a pop, and if you bought 10 of them, you get a discount. And I think Mr. Mosquito was in one of those, and that thing just shot up in price ever since I've got it. I think it goes for 100 now.
What?
Yeah,
That's insane.
Let's go
That's
to our old
crazy.
friend price charting. I will confirm and deny it.
Holy
Honestly,
stuff,
That's
dude.
completely-
price charting is my ultimate guide. It's the best website.
Wow.
I live and breathe and die by price charting.
Mosquito. I spelled mosquito wrong. Yeah, loose is $65. Complete is $73. So it's come down a little bit. Oh yeah, it's definitely been dropping in price there, but no. Yeah, the last couple of years it's been steady around that 90.
Spiked when a influencer played it, and then it slowly tapers off like a lot of games.
No, actually, it only started really gaining traction. Oh, what do you know? We're in when lockdown happened.
Oh, well, there you go.
Everything else.
Lockdown
It's that
caused...
nostalgia, lockdown, for that generation, PS2, GameCube, Xbox. Well, not so much Xbox, but I think PS2 and GameCube.
Yeah.
Shot up a bunch of prices because everyone was stuck at home, and they're well, what I want to do is well, what did we do when we were kids? We played video games, and there's PS2 and GameCube are starting to get super nostalgic now. So
that
when people are seeing pricing, people selling stuff, it's oh wow, people are really buying these old games. Oh, I got a bunch of these old games.
right.
I'll try selling them. Wait,
Pay
what
my
if I sold them
bills.
for profit?
I'm out of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Right?
when things started really going insane in terms of pricing everything for especially GameCube. And I don't think the GameCube has
Oh,
ever really
GameCube's
recovered
impossible.
from that. Really?
No.
No, it's
I've
been nuts
noticed people
since.
starting to sell a lot of their COVID collections at this point. Like just in general, not just like video games, but like weird nerdy niche things. People have been offloading crap because they're like, well, this is a bad habit and I need to, pay my bills. So
Yeah.
I have started to notice that happen this year at least.
A bad habit, you say? Well,
Yeah.
come to this podcast. We'll tell you all about the bad habit. No, I love collecting. I think most people who follow me on social know that I love collecting. I've talked about some of the crazy stuff that I have collected before on here, and some of the things I've mentioned might sound a little sus, a little sketch, and I get it. But I brought show and tell to show everybody live. Sorry, listeners, later on for the recording, you don't get this. You have to watch the record. You have to watch the video version, not the audio. So I know one crazy thing I said before is that I have 2 copies of Chrono Trigger for SNES,
Cool.
which it sounds insane. I get it because when I bought one of these copies, it was like, I think I paid $50 back in like 2008, something like that.
$50 in 2008?
I think
feel like
so.
that would have been high then, but
No, that's not high. That's not high at all.
is that
Like, I don't think I've
Well,
ever
back
heard.
then-
I even back then, I don't remember a time where Chrono Trigger was in anything below 100.
Now, granted, this
I got
could
mine
be
around 90
mixing
or
a
100
Final
years
Fantasy
ago.
3 up. Because I'm going to get to that part too. Okay. Here's where I show everyone that I'm not insane and I'm telling you the truth. Here's a copy of Chrono Trigger. You can see it. Here is a second copy of Chrono Trigger. These are not repros. These are 100% real. One even has like one of those old rental store nasty stickers on them. I still need the lemon off.
Oh, we can work on that.
Don't you hate it
Take
when
your
they do
time.
that?
Yes.
Yeah. You can get rid of that goo gone, maybe soak in a Windex a little bit.
Patience. You don't want to scrub too hard. You don't want to put too much solution on there to ruin it.
And then another one that I have 2 of that no one should. Here is a copy of Final Fantasy 3. Good stuff.
Ooh.
Here's the second copy.
Mhm.
That's right there.
Okay. Are there differences, or do you just aren't capable of like
just
getting
because.
out of one?
I have 2. Just because. Now, here's the one that I cherish the most. I'm gonna just FYI, for anybody interested, or if you're wanting a copy of Chrono Trigger, on Reset Revolution Games and Toys, I will be selling the second copy in the future, because I love Chrono Trigger, but I'd really like to get rid of this thing so I can go get a copy of Earthbound. That's what I'd like to do.
Support Patrick's shop.
Support it so I can get that. I really want Earthbound. I'll tell you about it later if you didn't hear a previous episode. That's a story for a little bit in this one. And then the crazy one, I'll never break this one up, folks. It's not going to happen. Here's 2 copies of Super Mario RPG.
Ooh.
2 right there. Now, the problem with these, this part is the part that sucks. Blockbuster nastiness all over both cards.
Ugh.
Pen, sticker, or
Sticker.
branded stickers. Oh,
One sticker they put on the
that
side.
one- That
The
one's
side?
not. The one that's on the side's not too bad.
That one's not
you
too
can
bad.
deal with that.
This one is sin. This is absolute sin. Look at this.
Yeah.
Shame on them. Shame on you, Blockbuster. But that's how it was done back in the day.
Well, there's a reason why they're shut down now, Patrick, because they ruined all those games.
That's what
Can't
happened.
hurt you anymore. Nothing grinds my gears worse than having like finding NES cards and then looking at that like someone like took a hot iron brand to like one of the pieces of plastic on it. It's like, why?
Is the sticker over the indented number on the label is what I'm being asked. If you're talking about the indent on the back, yes. Yes, it is. It infuriates the hell out of me. But again, that's what they did back in the day because they didn't know. Who, honestly, let's rewind to 1995. I know that Mario RPG came out in 96, but bear with me. So rewind back to that time and just ask yourself, did anybody honestly think that this was going to be a thing?
Well,
No.
video games were for nerds, and who cares about their feelings? We don't care. Slap a label.
People are just like, little punk ass kids are going to come in with their money and they're going to just rent these games. Who cares? And then next thing you know, you got a copy of Mega Man 5 that has a Blockbuster logo, a label all over it. Damn it.
Damn. 5.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Besides 1, that's the most expensive one, isn't it?
Well, I'll go ahead and start with the story of the Spoils of War then. Take a wild stab how much I paid for that, or how much my mother paid for that.
$20.
I'm gonna say Spoil War $1.
$10.
$10?
Wow.
That's still pretty good.
$10 because Blockbuster was trying to liquidate their NES games and get them out as quickly as they could. N64 was on the way, so it was like SNES was old, but N64 was coming in. They didn't need these crappy NES games anymore. So
that's kind of what GameStop did recently with PS3 and 360 titles. Like, I would go in there and they would be like almost like $1 or like $2, and I would stack them up. I have like a binder filled with 360 games. I think I got Blitz the League 2, and all of a sudden, like, that game it's like it's like $50. I was like, what? It's a football game.
That's
Not even a
funny.
really good one.
I mean, I think GameStop did like the buy two get one. Almost all the games were really, really cheap, like you mentioned. But I've noticed, at least like where I am, like 5 or 6 years ago, GameStop had its really big retro revival trying to do the resale market, but half their games are fake or just like were not checked properly. Like people did not know what they were looking at.
Yeah.
And in the last maybe like the last year or so, I've noticed since I phase out the PS360 stuff, there is like a little 1-foot section that's like maybe like 3 to 4 rows tall, at least at like some of my local stores with PS360 stuff. And the prices are honestly not outrageous, surprisingly. So I don't know if it's just my store that I usually go to got sent a bunch of leftover inventory from other locations. And there's still like a handful of Wii and Wii U games, but they used to not have those, but all of a sudden they do have them on their walls. So I don't really know what's the story with that, or if they're trying to like bring that back in any sense.
Am I the only one, or does anybody else, when you come across like a big selection of Wii games at a Blockbuster, you go through it just in case some mad lad accidentally puts Trilogy on there? Just in case. Just in case. Because
yeah.
I guess I'll go ahead and kick off the lost it, could have had it scenario of everything. Twice this happened to me.
No.
I'm not a smart man, and I'm willing to admit it.
But I know what love is.
First time. I think it was maybe 2013, 2014. Went to a Blockbuster. They were selling some old Wii games, and sitting there, Metroid Prime Trilogy. It was there. It was $50, and I thought, this is a used Wii game. Are you kidding me? No, I'm not doing it. Didn't get Metroid Prime Trilogy. Let it go. And then, fast forward about 6 years, went into a store, and somebody had the Steelbook Collector's Edition Metroid Prime Trilogy. $75. And I said, that's overpriced. That's overpriced. I could do better. No thanks. I feel like the biggest fucking idiot in town.
It's okay.
Because
everyone just remember it's okay.
It is okay. just because you let one go, just because you let one slip, doesn't mean like you're a bad collector or you're dumb or anything like that. It's just sometimes you make good choices and sometimes you don't. That was definitely one of the bad choices because now I'm currently in talks with somebody to get Metroid Prime Trilogy Steelbook Edition for like 135. So
Oh my god, it's that like crazy. It's like 150 now. Is that what it's like going for about?
one
I'll let you know. I
one
can let you know here in a
150.
second. That's let you know here in a second. Oh, by the way, if you're ever curious as what your Mega Man 5 would be worth, it's 138 currently used
Just
or
for one game.
loose.
Oh my god.
Also, I never knew about this. Apparently, OG Mega Man, there is a 5-screw cart out there. $10,000. $10,000 for just the 5-screw one.
We should probably talk about that real quick because I'm not sure everybody listening to this podcast knows about the 5-screw.
Yeah.
So
So-
Johnny, I assume you know about 5-screws. Liz, do you know about
Yeah.
5-screws?
So all I remember, and I don't have it to show it, is that years and years ago, my ex had gotten a Mega Man 1 and he freaked the fuck out because it had different screws than
Yeah.
like other copies.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if I had 5-screw. May have. I don't know. Don't know anymore. It's not in my possession, not for many years. But I do remember him flipping a lid and it being like, oh, this one's more valuable. And that was his thing.
It says, eat a little Samson, eat your heart out. Yeah, so the 5-screw, if I'm remembering correctly, it was because there was a chip shortage back in the 80s. So to save money, Nintendo would take just the Famicom carts and put because Famicom carts have 52 pins versus 72 pins for an NES cart. So they would put it into a converter. So you'd have the Famicom cart into a converter, so that they just put it in a clamshell, and that works out well too. Like if you want to collect for Famicom and you don't have one of those cart converters, if you can find a 5-pin cart out there, you can just unscrew it, take the chip out, and then just plug your Famicom cart into that, and then plug that into your NES. It's a little bit difficult. I would recommend getting a multi-cart converter, but I mean, if you're in a pinch and you really need to play a Famicom game, that's how you do it.
Yeah, and
Wow.
you got it right for the most part. Here's evidence if anybody's wanting to see what Johnny's talking about. This is a Famicom cart. You can see it's a lot smaller. The pins, not nearly as wide as
What do you
a
got
regular
there?
NES. Oh, it's
Is that
just
Mahjong?
yeah, it's just like a crappy copy of Mahjong.
Okay.
I just ran over and grabbed one real quick while you were talking.
I always appreciate Famicom carts because like with Nintendo, other than like getting like a Color Dreams game or like a Camerica cart, everything was pretty much the same. It was always a gray cart except for Zelda and Gold carts.
Right.
But like like Famicom carts are all different. Like they're orange, yellow, black, red, white. I mean, they fit some of the games too. You get Kirby's Adventure on Famicom. It's pink.
So
I appreciate that a lot
cute.
with Famicom. Yeah.
I love the Famicom is like so much cooler looking with everything. I don't know if that's just because it's different than what we had, but I'm just so tired of the gray. I don't know. I just think the gray is kind of boring and it looks so bad when it ages on top of it. But I love the Famicom like kind of like golden red vibe. It's really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a lot more fun with the cartridges too. Yeah, like you were saying, a lot of it was just gray carts for the most part with everything. And then you start looking at Famicom carts and you feel like you were ripped off all this time because they're just they're more colorful, they're more fun. I grabbed some more to show everybody. So you've got like here's a baseball game. I don't know, nor do I care what it is, but look at that. It's a nice, cool red color.
I feel ripped they never brought us Popeye, and that's bullshit. That game is so cute.
Ultraman, we got that, and then
Popeye? No, Popeye was released.
Was it? I've
Yep,
never
it
seen
was one of the black box games.
No. That's a lie.
Yeah, it was
You didn't
their
get
arcade run.
Popeye.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lie.
Super Mario USA.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
feel ripped off.
They did have
I don't
Popeye
know.
on NES. One of the main reasons why they made sure to have that on there is the pitch after they dropped the whole bullshit of this isn't a video game system, guys. It's family entertainment. It's a toy.
Entertainment system.
Yeah. They dropped the whole facade and then said, okay, we're going to do with this what we originally intended. They wanted to bring the arcade feel home. And one of the first games that they really wanted to showcase that ability with was the Popeye game. Now, if you play the arcade version, then the NES version, but it's there.
Feel like no one's ever talked about it on NES, and I think I don't know. I don't know why I thought it like wasn't real on like US NES like all this time. I don't know why. No idea.
Possibly have you played it on like those like compilation pirate cards, like 31 and 1, 51 and 1, stuff like that?
No, I've played it on Famicom with my friends, but like
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I just like never seen it anywhere. No one's really talked about it. I don't know why I had that impression. I thought it was this whole time. Never released here.
It has been, but you make a really good point because I've seen plenty of collections at this point. My God, so many different collections that people have. And that's one that I rarely ever saw in anyone's collection. Most of the time when there was something like that, somebody was guaranteed to have like the Mario games. That was guaranteed to be in someone's collection. Usually you would see like Double Dragon 2 or different common things you would see like that, but never Popeye. I guess because maybe it was just too basic. It was a very basic arcade game.
It's really
So it was like it was one of the earlier titles. I remember it being like the black box games.
Yeah,
I don't think it was.
now that
I don't think it was
Google
a
I see
launch
the
title.
black box, but no one
It
talks
wasn't.
about it, and like I don't recognize like the box art. I don't know, like kind of like what you're saying, Patrick. I don't think that game is like weird enough for people to want to talk about. Like we've heard people talk about Rob the Robot a million times and all that crap and all the silly things, but Popeye's just overlooked. I don't know. Maybe that's why I thought it wasn't a thing.
I've even got Rob back there chilling somewhere. So many stuffed animals, I can't even recall where he is.
I've never owned a Rob. I don't think I've ever, other than like a video game shop that's locally here. I don't think I've seen a Rob like in the wild for sale. It's one of those
think I've
accessories
seen
I
them
just
at,
never
like,
had.
Like retro gaming cons. Like I think I might have seen them a couple of times, but it's like, do I want to spend this much money on something that I can't really use?
Oh, that's another great story I should tell everyone. I just remembered how I got my Rob. It was actually a birthday present years ago. So it's not something that I even had to buy. It was gifted to me. I cherish it, and I still remember who got it for me to this day. Very good friend. And awesome. And I even found out by popping in the batteries and scaring one of my cats to pieces that Rob works. As soon as I put the batteries in and Rob just went, the cat went, oh, no.
No, that's like a cat's worst nightmare. Not gonna lie.
It's a funny party trick. They only want you to do it once, though. Well, I'll open the floor. Does anybody else have any awesome stories about getting something really, really good?
I had a lot of good like eBay experiences when I first got back into like I've gone on waves when it comes to collecting. Like I did it when I was a kid because video games were all new, so like you could go and get stuff cheap at yard sales. I remember getting 2 NES decks with Mario 2 in it, and buddy just wanted a quarter for it.
Whoa!
Oh my God,
a quarter. Can you imagine now
amazing.
now it's like 60 just for the deck and no games, and you don't even know if the pin connectors are good in it or not, right? But as you do, you get the collection, you sell it off because you don't play video games anymore, and then you get nostalgic, you buy it again, and you sell it off again. I think I've like bought and resold a collection like maybe 4 times over, This last
Oh my
one
God.
probably will be, unless prices start coming back down again. It might be the last time I ever retro collect again. I mean, you never know. We'll see. But one of the ones I had actually gotten in a lot, Contra, with like 4 or 5 of the black dust sleeves, and a dog bone controller that came with the top loader. I'd never had the dog bone controller before in my life, and I was like, this is
That's
so weird,
cool.
but also it's better. It's great not having like the sharp edges of the NES controller digging into me. So like usually when I played NES games, that would be my go-to uh controller. And if I can find the photo, and this was like the last, like when I did my last little bit of collecting, for some reason I had like the best luck on Labor Day, and
Ooh.
I just got someone's like complete collection. It was like Mega Man 2, 3, 4, a couple of Marios, Batman, Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2, Top Gun, Dr. Mario. And I got that whole thing for $50. The only problem I had
Holy
though
damn.
was Dr. Mario didn't work.
Oh,
This just, and like that's when I started learning about like properly cleaning cartridges and opening them up, and like I actually invested in like tri-wing and socket wrenches, not wrenches, but drill bits to actually open up cartridges properly. And I was also replacing batteries too, and I just opened up that cart, and like a lot of the gold in the pins had rotted away.
oh.
So it was like virtually unplayable. I think I maybe got the title screen a couple of times, but the pins were so corroded, there was no way that was ever coming back.
Nothing a pink eraser couldn't fix? No?
No, pink
No,
eraser.
no, it was just no, there was no coming back. I cleaned that with so much alcohol and so many erasers and magic
It's
erasers,
just,
and
it was gone. Rusted.
it was stripped away. Yeah.
That's
I
a
think I've
bummer.
talked before about the pawn shops around here. They were trying to get into selling retro games and looking on the eBay and going like, oh yeah, look at all these
What a
prices.
good idea.
That's where I got Chippendale 2, a $200 game. I got that for 25. I think they also mispriced for some reason Donkey Kong Country 3, they had it at $80. I was like,
What?
but then
It's not that much.
I ended up getting Final Fantasy 3 for 40.
Oh, that's not
And
bad.
as at the time there were the Final Fantasies were like really high priced there. So suffice to say that store did not last long.
No, because they weren't doing any research at
Oh,
all on their pricing.
No, one of the other reasons they shut down was they were trying to rent out the games. Some of the higher priced ones that they had, they were charging $8 a day.
What?
For a rental?
For a rental.
Retro stuff.
Yeah, a day.
I mean,
Where like places
They
like
thought they were
Blockbuster would be
Blockbuster.
like, $3 for a weekend.
no.
Jeez. That's insane. Like $8
Yeah.
a day for something like that.
Oh, actually, another one I could show off.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
I
do
still
it.
have it. I have a Jungle Green Nintendo 64.
Yes.
Very cool.
I got this at a Value Village. I think in the States you guys call it Savers. This and a copy of Ocarina of Time for $20.
What?
That's
Back in the day.
insane. That's like insane.
Yeah, this is way before like the color variants of Nintendo 64 start going up in price.
That I was about
Nowadays,
to
like,
say.
Nowadays though, that same store would have this behind their have this behind their glass showcase, overprice it. Sometimes, I kid you not, like no jumper pack, no expansion pack, and a controller for a plug and play. They had it all packaged together, wanted $80 for it. I was like, excuse me, like I don't even think they had the AC adapter either. I was like, excuse me, you're selling like a spare parts Nintendo 64 for $80? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. But to get that, like a working one of those from that, like that color lineup that they put out, oh my god!
Oh my god!
That's
I think
an
I still have
amazing
the. Oh yeah, I still there's still marks on the bottom of it from when like piece 1 of 2.
See, they have I can't remember what the purple one is called. I can't remember the official title, but
Grape. Or
a
something, I
family
don't know.
member has that one. I've got a family member who has it, and I'm trying so hard to get that. And I think they're starting to
Just your
realize
beautiful eyes.
every time I start expressing how bad I want it, I think they're like, "Wait, is this worth money?" Maybe.
No, I just like the color. Just be like, well, purple's my favorite color, and if you could just pass it down in the family to me. You have to do the whole speech.
I've actually done something similar to that before, and that's how I got my Dreamcast. I should tell that story.
Oh.
I should tell that story. So I have two younger cousins, second cousins of mine. And when they were younger, they were little shits. If you ever have children, you have boys, I feel bad for you. They can be horrible. So they came in possession of a Dreamcast. I don't know where my aunt found it, but she found the Dreamcast. And this was when Dreamcast was fairly old. It had officially lost, right? So Sega games were coming out on GameCube and everything else, but Dreamcast was still something pretty cool and something you wanted to have. So Dreamcast also can use a PS1 power supply, can use a PS1 power cable.
Right.
They didn't have one. I did. I had two at the time. One for my PS1 that was working out of spare. And I said, oh, okay, no problem. You can borrow this. I don't know how they did it. I don't know if they took scissors, what they did, but they destroyed my cable. Tattered into pieces, destroyed this cable, right? And I was so annoyed that I just showed my aunt what they did. And I said, now you have no cables to run this thing. None. And I'm not going to get you a cable. You might as well just give that to me because they destroyed my cable. And she said, okay, here you go. Boom, Dreamcast.
Cool aunt, disciplining those kids. Well, you lose your toy if you abuse it.
I mean, it was the easiest get of a console ever because PS1 cables now are, who cares? But the problem with the Dreamcast, and most people, if you have one, you'll know what I'm talking about, they get very finicky over time. Like sometimes it wants to boot and it wants to play ball and be good, and sometimes it wants to fight, man. It just beeps and it goes to the load screen and it goes to the clock and then just, nope, I'm done. That's all I'm doing.
I'm shutting down tonight. Did you have issues like years and years ago when it was maybe no more than 5 years old, or do you think it's just like an over the time performance issue?
This had to be 2003. So yeah,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
No wonder. No wonder they don't make it anymore.
Yeah, people think the Dreamcast failed solely because the PS2 came along with better, better specs and better capabilities. But
piracy.
It was the piracy.
Yeah.
It was the fact that I don't know if they were cheaply made, but they were having issues left and right. People pick on the Xbox 360. Those Dreamcasts were having problems, dude. So there was a lot to it besides just that really put the Dreamcast, 6 feet under. But I still really enjoy mine. I think the UMVs, is that what they're called? UMVs? The memory cards you stick in that has the videos.
Oh my god, those are so cool.
VMUs,
thank you. I got it backwards. The VMUs are really cool.
Little Chow's playing Sonic. I remember borrowing a friend's Dreamcast, and I almost only played the Sonic games. But I don't recall any other games I played when I was younger on it. But I loved like the little Chow's and the cool little things on it. My mind was blown.
Yeah. And you could even play like little mini games with it, depending on what was going on.
You take it out and you go play.
I'm trying to see if I can.
Cute.
Mine won't turn on. I think
playing
it's been
Power Stone. God, playing Power Stone was so good with Dreamcast. Is this turning into a Dreamcast episode? Because it should.
99.99. Greatest day in gaming history. Because
God.
The Dreamcast came out, and so did Final Fantasy VIII.
Nice.
Don't get me started on that. Okay. Does
I've
anybody
turned around on 8. I like it again. I have for a while.
does anybody remember the Dreamcast commercials when it was first coming out? Like when they were first
Oh, no.
advertising it? They were just so over the top and ridiculous. It was like, it's thinking. And like
Sounds so
edgy.
creepy.
I only remember the ones where they were just advertising the price in the online, and it's just like all the characters from the games, like Sonic and NBA 2K guys, just partying inside. That's all I remember.
Those were some of the most fun and entertaining commercials for a video game console, like ever. Ever. I challenge you guys. I'm a big Nintendo fan. Everybody knows I'm like the Nintendo mark of Nintendo marks. You find a Nintendo commercial that was as entertaining as those. You can't. It's not going to happen. Like, I immediately think of like the GameCube commercials that were going on during most of its life cycle. Those were just creepy and weird. Those weren't fun. I don't know if anybody remembers the Zelda rap. We're not going to talk about that. Zelda rap's forbidden on this
Which
podcast.
ones? There's several.
Oh yeah, there's the
several.
Japanese ones too.
The Japanese one. There's also like there's 2 American ones, because very first one for the NES with the Poindexter and the other guy, and they make their little rap. And then there was one. It was a little bit better, but there was one for like Link's Awakening on Game Boy.
So funny.
Oh,
They
I don't
had little raps.
remember.
So this is a silly side note. I did not believe there was the Zelda cartoon until I was maybe like 10 or 11 years old, that I found it online and downloaded it over really crappy dial-up internet. And the moment I downloaded that first episode, I was like literally crying from laughter. I did not believe that was real. And like even after watching it, I'm like, how many episodes are there? Like there's like 10 or 20 of these? It shocked me. I did not know there was such a thing in this world.
You know, all this talk about like commercials. I mentioned Nintendo, and chat was just like, "Wait a second, what about?" And just went nuts there. Those Smash Brothers commercial for the original Super Smash Brothers. What an amazing commercial! What an amazing one! Because first time I saw it was just I didn't know what was going on, because everybody knows the song. We're not going to play it because, you know, DMCA and all that good stuff. But it was just that so happy together. And next thing you know, Pikachu takes a punch to the gut and it's on.
Good.
It was so wild. Because before that happened, before you saw that commercial, it was not okay for Nintendo characters to hit each other. Mario wasn't allowed to punch Yoshi, well, except for all the times he causes him to die in Super Mario World. Yoshi can't punch Pikachu, no. Donkey Kong's not allowed to go, you know, smash Yoshi into the ground. Not cool.
Allowed to go bananas.
He went banana slammer. You set me up for it, I'm sorry.
Damn.
That was a fun commercial. I guess we veered off a little too much. Liz,
Oh yeah, definitely.
we'll let you take over. Do you have any regrets, any stuff that you could have picked up and you didn't, or maybe any success stories, any triumphs?
So yes and no. I would say definitely kind of like what Johnny was saying. I definitely did the Savers route maybe like 8 to 10 years ago. Savers was not a thing until I was in college. They were not in my local area. And I found a lot of consoles and like super weird cables and wires for various consoles at that time. And I also spent a lot of time trolling around at like pawn and consignment shops looking for games or game bundles, or looking up on like Craigslist or Facebook, seeing people just looking for garage sales even. Again, this is definitely like up to like 2015, 2016 at latest. And also Half Price Books also opened up for the first time in my area back when I was in college. And I also had a relationship with people where I'd be like, I'm going to buy a crap ton of stuff. I'm buying this. I'm buying like shelves of manga. I'm buying half dozen games. They would give me bulk discounts just because they liked me and I shopped there a lot. So there was that benefit.
Yeah.
However, I remember meeting up in a weird, sketchy, like commercial garage, maybe within an hour where I lived, and for $5, and it was a whole psychological thing. He was like, it was just like a crusty old dude in like, I don't know, a warehouse garage of some sorts, and he had like a bunch of shit, like mostly not good stuff, and a lot of like bad WiiWare shovel games, and and at that time, again, this had to have been maybe like 7, 8 years ago. We were like, okay, we want this, and he was like, all right, I'll do it $5 a piece, and we kind of grabbed some like crappy games. Not even like crappy games. It was stuff that I wanted, but it wasn't particularly rare or expensive. But got the Mario parties, 1, 2, 3,
Oh,
64, and then I got Secret of Mana for $5 and Sunset Riders for $5.
oh my
Yeah,
god!
I know.
Damn.
I know. We were like shaking.
We're over here
those
talking
were
shit about what
probably-
we picked up. Listen to this chick.
Okay, but I don't have
Yeah, I
them
kinda wish my-
anymore. I
I
don't
kind of
have
wish
these.
my soundboard worked. I would have hit air horns on that. Energy air horns.
And then I got one of the Harvest Moon games at half price books, the one in the PS1. I can't remember like the little subtitle to it. I think I got it for like 20 or $25, and we got like the Phantasy Star games on GameCube for less than $50 at the time. Like a lot of really good shit. I'm trying to think. And honestly, in terms of collecting stuff, I just spend my money on getting collector's editions. Like, I unintentionally buy games because they're so hipster as shit when they come out that they're very expensive later. So a lot of the stuff I do purchase is not like intentionally to be like, I'm gonna collect this just because I can have it. It's just I like weird games, and that's the reality of life. I mean, I could always pause and like pull stuff that I'd naturally bought when they came out, and you guys will like shit bricks. Because it's like, wow, this was like $10 or $15 at GameStop because nobody wants it, and I'm the weird kid playing the weird games. So I have a crap ton of those games. However, I did move across the country away from my ex when I moved to Florida years and years ago, and I only had a fraction of my games, and I did happen to break up with him and ruin his life. And you know, it was one of those things for the first like year or so after breaking up with him that I was like, I felt so guilty, and oh my gosh, like I am a terrible human being for breaking up with him across the country. And then years later in retrospective, I was like, oh, I was totally abused and oh, gaslit and all that good stuff. So, you know, it was past a point where I could collect all my stuff. So I basically started almost from scratch, but I did get a bunch of my PS2 era games when he had visited once. I had a lot of that stuff and some really good stuff on Super Nintendo. So I'm at a point where there's so many remakes of games like Mario RPG. Cool, I can get that on the Switch in a few months. I don't have to think about getting the old one. Cool. I'm never gonna worry about that. Okay. Thank God they bring back these games. Oh man, that Mario collection that came out on Switch. Okay, cool. I don't have to worry about getting this, like a bunch of this stuff. I'm fine with getting the remasters. And it like really hurt me for a long time that I lost all my shit to someone in retrospect who did abuse me in certain ways. So, it got me really, really upset, and time has healed the wounds of not breaking up but losing all my shit. So, it's kind of a bummer when like you lose almost everything, and you know, and everything's kind of turned on you at that time, and you don't have confidence to speak up for yourself because of how warped the situation was. But I did get a lot of my good PS2 games, and it gives me an opportunity now that when I buy games, I buy shit that I never got or that my shitty ex told me not to buy because it's not a good game. Well, guess what? You're not a good person, so.
And now you're here with us.
Oh well.
Yeah.
So I've gotten some really cool shit for like decent prices. Like I got Valkyrie Profile and Suikoden 2 for like a little under $100 a few years ago, and like I got some other cool
That's
stuff.
good.
but I'm still trying to hunt down a few things that I really want, and it sucks because it's like, do I want to spend over $100? I'll like pray. If anybody's really nice, you could send me like Clock Tower, American 1 and 2, please. I need those games, please. So there's a few games I really want.
Tower.
But, I almost squeed and cried when Limited Run Games announced that they're bringing original Clock Tower and Super NES to the US, and I'm very excited. At least I have that. At least I have that coming. If I don't have the original PS1 game anymore, so that's fine. I'll take it.
I was shocked to see that announcement too. I thought that was a really good announcement. And can I just say something really quick for some of the gaming websites out there, since this is Reset Press, that you know, something they should probably think about and keep in mind when they're writing articles like this. Know where the game fucking released. Can you do that for me, please? Because I saw multiple websites say classic NES title is being released, or classic SNES title is being released. It was not a classic SNES title because it never came over here. It was a classic Super Famicom title. If you did any research at all, folks.
No, they don't.
That's just like IGN saying happy 40th anniversary NES. Oh, by the way, here's our top 100 NES games. It was the Famicom that came out in 1983. Not the NES. The NES's 40th anniversary is in 2 years. By the way, your top 100 NES games are shit because you put Double Dragon 3 20 places above Double Dragon 2, and you even played Double Dragon 1. Oh my god.
Fuck that list.
Shameless plug, I played all 100 games on my YouTube channel if you ever wanted to watch that.
It's like IGN doing like the top 10 anime, and it's all like mainstream shonen for the last like 15 years, and it's like, yeah, did you really think about it?
Really?
Well, if you guys want to keep discussing, I will get up for a second and find some of my natural collecting. I don't even call it collecting. I call it I want to play my games, so I buy them. So I will have a brief return.
Yeah,
Cool.
do your show and tell.
Look at that.
We love show and tell.
Yeah.
All right, so she's gonna get her show and tell. John, you had something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I guess I'll ask you because I don't really actively collect retro anymore, because I have everything I want to play or could possibly want, and the stuff that I've already played or had, I've played. I'm good emulating it. It's not a big deal to me unless like I ever get that itch again. It might come again someday that I want to actually actively go out and get everything again.
Sure.
But like for you, like, do you collect? Are you at a point where you want to collect everything for one system, or is it just like, no, I want to collect what I want, and maybe venture into stuff that, oh, I've heard about that game before, or wait, what is this weird thing? Oh, I might pick it up and see.
Console
Do you
completion.
have, like, I guess, do you have any limits to what you would collect?
I think that's an awesome question. Thanks for throwing it at me. Console completionists to me are weird. I couldn't do it. Because unless it's part of like a lot that someone is offering to me, I'm not going to go out and actively get something I legitimately don't want. Like, in order for you to be a completionist of like the SNES, you've got to go get all the Madden football games, right? That's what you have to do if you're going to be a completionist for that. And I'm not going to go out and actively get those Madden games. I don't want them. I don't want half the sports titles or different things like that. There's quite a few different SNES games that I'd love to stay far away from. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Wait, as far as I was gonna say, for sports games, if it's NHL 94, I go for it.
Oh yeah,
NHL 94 is the GOAT.
Oh, NHL 94 is fucking bomb, dude. Love that. But most of like the baseball games, most of the baseball games on SNES are just awful. Not all of them. Like King Griffey rocks ass. King Griffey's, yeah.
Yep.
King Griffey's good stuff. RBI Baseball on SNES, also good stuff. But most of it, just I couldn't do it. Do I want to continue like collecting stuff, even if it's expensive on various things? Absolutely. I don't think I'll ever stop doing that, because the other thing is, something that the wife and I have talked about is that's going to be part of our retirement in the future. Like if we get old and I can't play video games anymore and she can't play video games anymore, we'll just sell the stuff. it's worth thousands.
That's what helped. I had a pretty extensive collection. God, was it 7 years ago? I think that's when I started selling them all because, wife was out of work. It was hard to get. It was hard for her to get another job, so she was on EI for a long time. And to keep us afloat, I just sold the collection off to other collectors. Stuff that I had paid 10, 15 bucks here or there for, suddenly we're 25, 30, and there's someone in the chat who's saying like, do I want to pay $200? No. Will I? Yes. I mean, hey, Jing, he's offering it on his website, on his side hustle if you want it.
Yeah, that's my buddy Miguel.
Hit up his DM. Hit up his DMs.
Yeah, before I
But no,
moved,
like
definitely what I
selling
had was like more than a down payment on a house, like more than enough.
Yeah,
Easily.
like for me, like selling all that off, we stayed afloat and stayed above. We kept up with everything, and actually some of it we were able to put aside to stay higher up, so that when she did get back into work, we dug ourselves out of that hole. And if I didn't have that collection or sell that off, I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah, this stuff is legitimately something that you can hold on to for the future and have, a little bit of additional cushion. We could go the route of another podcast and talk about crypto instead, but no. We're going to talk about how video games can legitimately help your future as well. Because I've already priced most of this stuff. There's a good bunch of it that I haven't priced yet, and it's in the thousands. That's something that we could, sell off if we want to when we got old, and we'd have another house to become landlords if we wanted to. Another thing I brought to show and tell that I'm going to pull up for everybody real quick, because I mentioned it's not going to be all video games.
When you're done.
Yes?
Can I do show and tell when you're done?
I want you to do show and tell first.
Okay. So I'll tell you brief stories of how I got these. I found this at Five Below many, many moons ago, and I was like, what is this game? It's the best. And then some big YouTubers played it, and then it became impossible. We got Tulip, and it was at Five Below, and I was like, oh my
wow.
God.
I've never seen that in
this
my
game's
life.
amazing. What have you... There's a tree at the beginning, and it's a little spooky, and it all goes downhill from there. You gotta kiss her. You gotta kiss people. Make the girl fall in love with you.
That was I want to say it was the Grumps that played that.
Yeah, and it
That's what blew it up. Yeah, I mentioned even if they didn't play it, I think the developer is Natsume.
Mm-hmm.
It would have shot up anyways. Natsume games, they just keep going up in value.
Yeah, Natsume does it.
Buy these things because I'm that person. I'm that demographic. And then of course we have Clock Tower 3 because I sadly don't have 1 and 2 anymore. Gonna cry about it a little bit. And we got Fatal Frame because I naturally am that person to buy them when they came out.
Holy shit.
I am that person. I'm that person, okay. I hope this summarizes my tastes to everyone very quickly. And then this is one of the games I bought post breakup because I was like, well, I never had it, and I got it, I think, for like 35 or 40 bucks. A few years ago. Not too bad. But I got Guitaro Man. It's very cool. I remember Shelby playing this at previous SGCs, and I was like,
I haven't heard
I need this game.
I haven't heard about Guitar Man since that PCB Productions. Was that what it was? Like back in 2008 on ScrewAttack.com?
It's a weird game, but it's cool. I love music games too. And another game that I always wanted, but I never got it because of being manipulated and lied to. I got Steambot Chronicles. I still haven't played this, but for some reason I wanted this game for a very long time because it looked weird and cool. And of course it's Atlas Chan, so it's gonna be a weird, super hard to find game.
I remember seeing that at my local pawn shop so many times, and it's a shoot 'em up, right? It's a vertical shoot 'em up, right? If I'm guessing that right.
RPG action RPG situation.
Oh, no, okay.
That's like that's what I think it is. I
I'm
don't know. It
thinking of
just like looked kind of cool and weird, and I always wanted it. And I got this, I think, for me like in the $25 to $30 range, something like that.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
and I
I'm
only buy
thinking-
shit that's complete in box. I don't buy anything. Like
I'm
anything
thinking-
that's PS2 area and beyond, I only do complete in box. Anything
Yeah.
before that, it's too hard. I don't care. I
Yeah.
just want
Yeah,
the game.
I think it wasn't that one. I'm thinking of Castle Shimigami. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Okay.
That's the shoot 'em. That's the shoot 'em up that has like anime protagonists on front.
Yeah, I haven't played that myself. I haven't really looked into it to know.
And some of the
And then-
games from back in the day, even in box, can still be a little insane. Like some of the Sega Genesis games that you would expect to find in box could still be crazy expensive. Sorry, let's go ahead.
Anyway. No. I got excited. I saw a special guest in our audience on live stream. And then, because this is one of my personality types, is Mega 10 games. So like, of course, like I have these, like this is in my blood. I remember being like 13, 14, being like, wow, Megami Tensei is like, I'm not gonna play Pokemon anymore. There's titties in these games. So then I became an adult at that moment. I was like, wow, Pokemon's pretty lame. Why would I go back to that?
That's the low bomb of the night, folks.
Fuck Pokemon. This has got titties.
Yeah, like, damn, these little pixies and angels at the beginning are almost naked. Like, why would I want to play Pokemon? I didn't have a DS, and I was like, whew, no reason to get a DS at this time. I'm
I
just gonna play
agree.
Persona 3 and the Megami Tensei games.
We got to get this fixed right now. Dana, fuck Pokemon. Gotta let her know.
Oh my god.
I hope I didn't insult Dana. I didn't want to do that.
Oh, she'll just watch us
It was
later
at
and
the
understand.
time I was
Or she
13
won't.
old, I
See
became
this?
an adult.
See this? Trash. No titties. Get this out of here.
You see all those Pokemon games
It's
over
really
there?
good Pokemon. That's what those games
Fuck
are.
those games.
It's good Pokemon with like very gray moral choices to make. And different
Oh, God.
outcomes in most of the games. All right, and then these are well, one of them I got for a Christmas present, and one of them I naturally bought in the wild. When I was like an edgelord at 13, when I was like, no Pokemon, we're playing Silent Hill. Like the 12, 13-year-old era. We gotta be edgy, okay? Okay.
Okay.
So these are, I did not spend what the current market is because I'm the natural loser that wanted these at the time.
Oh.
These are
Those are
my,
good
like, my
finds.
babies. These are my
Mm.
babies.
Mhm.
They're not good finds. It's called I wanted to play them when I was a kid. Should not have been playing this as a child. So for those on audio, Hunting Ground and Rule of Rose are the naturally acquired games back in the day that I still love and adore. So I just wanted to show off a little bit.
Just so you know, chat says do not give those up. Gotta agree.
Why would I do that? I like my games. I play my games. I don't collect. I play my video games. I swear off that I'm not a collector whatsoever. That is not a word in my house.
I'm not convinced.
I'm
I'm a
just
gamer.
saying, like, if you need to put something down to a down payment to a house,
already
Haunting
did it.
Ground, $336 currently.
I mean, I like
That's a good chunk
why
of
would I
change right
get rid
there.
of it? If I was only dying,
What's the
I
other
would
one?
start
Rule
that
of
game.
Rose? Because
Yes.
I saw that one around and
That game is so good. It's like super spooky, and it's kind of like realizing what that game is an adult is like super like upsetting.
Oh,
Johnny, are you
God.
dying?
Are you okay?
I'm coming, Elizabeth. I'm coming, Elizabeth. Rule of Rose. Do you have the book?
What?
Is it complete?
Yeah, I bought this at GameStop for like $13 to $15.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Johnny, what is it? What is it? I have to know.
Because I was an angsty kid that liked violent spooky
Johnny.
games when I was a kid.
let
Johnny,
me do
you're
my
killing
best
me.
Let me do my best Bob Barker here. Actual retail price of Rule of Rose, $700.
Look at the book.
Oh.
The book looks good. I bought this like, oh yeah, the disc looks pretty good. Like the disc looks pretty good. I took care of it despite being a little piece of shit kid. Should not have been playing this at age 13. Not appropriate.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. I can't believe. Okay, 2 copies of Mario RPG. Fuck them. Fuck them. 2 copies of Final Fantasy 3. Fuck these. Don't need them. Don't need them. Screw this. 2 copies of Chrono Trigger. Big fucking deal. Oh my Christ. I can't believe this. Wow.
It was like, you could buy a 3DO with that money.
That is
You're
insane.
sitting on some holy grails there, Liz.
Not a collector,
they're
she
just
says.
Games, I want to play them. I play my games, you guys. I wouldn't have them if I didn't have the intent to play them. And I did.
Can't fucking believe.
And guess what? Rule of Rose is never gonna come out again because it is so like it's so juicy of a game. I don't think there was more than like 15,000 copies of that game. I don't think so in the US. It's a very like spicy game, but people like don't think about it. Like out of context, it's a very inappropriate game. It's never gonna get re-released ever.
Probably not. But okay, you're never allowed to say I'm not a collector again. You just, I as a collector bestow upon you the title of collector.
No. Okay, when
You're a
did this
queen
come out?
It's happened.
This came out in
It's happened.
2006. I bought this like 15, 16 years ago.
Wow. Well, still, I mean, that just means you collected and you sat on it.
This is
That's all that
called I
means.
was like a tween playing these games. And it should not have been, for the record.
I can't believe
Like I'll
this.
tell you, like I was like, what do I have? Do I have anything on PS2 that would match it? I think the closest thing I have is Xenosaga 3. That's the closest I would have to anything being like super obscure or rare or like overpriced there.
I'm still looking for those. I played them when I was younger because my friends owned them, but I didn't.
Now I just feel like maybe I should do my show and tell with whatever else I have, because oh my god, Liz just came in. Liz fucking dominated the whole room saying, I'm not a collector, but let me drop this nuke, okay? No biggie. Just, whoa. Amazing.
God damn, yeah.
No, I'm happy for you. You have no idea how happy this makes me. To hear the people have games that they like and are worth that much. That's what it's all about. Yeah. That's what being a collector's about. If you've been
again,
wondering.
I do this by accident where I'm like, wow, what's this weird fucking game that no one's playing and IGN is giving like crap reviews to, and I'm like, wow, this appeals to my sensibilities, and then that's how I buy my weird games that are worth $1 million later.
Oddly enough, I wonder how much that one goes for. Is there 5 out of 10 God Hand?
While you're looking that up,
90, 120. Yeah, that's fair enough.
So the other big thing I've got in the stuff that I collect that is not video game related, but still gaming, that's worth thousands, is I've got like this binder. I've got the Magic the Gathering collection from like years upon years. Last time I went through this, because this is just the rares. Yeah, just flipping through all this. Last time I went through all this stuff, it was probably about, I don't know, 5,000-6,000.
Wow. Dude, people lose their shit over Magic. And I'm like, it's just a card game, you guys. I don't get it, but I don't want to get into it because it sounds like it's too much money for me to have fun.
Yeah.
You'll have to remind me what a Tim is. I've got a Cruel Hand of Timmy from Warcraft, the card game.
The only other thing I collect, the thing I really actively collect, non-collect, is I like the last like 5-6 years I've gotten really big into Hot Wheels, and I just collect. Fun. I only collect ones that are based on movies, TV, or games. I'll show a couple that I picked up recently. Oh, that one's down there. So
Trying to look at my
uh
bookshelves.
so yeah, like anything movie or video game related. So I got like Matrix here. This is the car that Trinity and Switch picked Neo up in the first movie in. Of course, I gotta get RC because Toy Story. Freaking cute as hell. And then I like it's not just Hot Wheels, it's just diecast in general. And I get these ones called Nano Hollywood. So it's like based on other properties. So I've got this one for Batman Returns. So I got Batmobile.
Oh, you got the duck.
The duck, yeah. And I think the bottom one is there's one for the little Batmobile that the Penguin sits in to fuck with Batman and make everyone hate him. And then there's
awesome.
one for Jurassic Park. So like these things are tiny too. Like they're like tiny little diecast ones.
So cute.
And where's my DeLoreans? I have like a Back to the Future set that's like all three time machines from all three movies. I'm a slut for DeLoreans. So I have like a larger one there. I have like 4 different sizes of a time machine. So I want to do the joke of like, don't talk to me or my son or my son's son or my son's son's son ever again. Just to go down the line.
Would you put them all lined up next to each other, or do you like to spread them around the house or your room?
No, actually on that shelf there, I've moved them over there. So I have like one row that's all Batmobiles. I pretty much own every variant of Batmobile from the shows, movies, comics, and I'm that anal. I have them all lined up based on movie release. I have a few Halo stuff. So I have a couple Warthogs, a Scorpion, a Mongoose. And I also collect, I have a few of the Mario ones as well. So got
Love 'em.
Mario from the Mario movie. I need the Hot Wheels has their truck, their plumber's truck from the movie. I cannot find that anywhere.
So cool.
Hopefully somebody in the collectors community has bought it and is going to resell it at the convention I'm going to next weekend. Please.
I thought
So,
Kevin
are
got
you
that for you.
impressed getting it like new in box, or is an opened one okay?
Oh no, I would open it. Like that's my thing. Like I open whatever I get here. Cause I prefer the display. The only reason those are open is just I'm just lazy. I haven't had a chance to open them. All 3 DeLoreans in this. Oh, Word Man saying all 3 DeLoreans in the same timeline. Someone brought up the point that in there at any given point on November 5th, 1955, there are technically 4 time machines in the same area. Because there's the one from the first movie. There's the second one from the second movie because they go back to stop Biff.
Mm-hmm.
There's the one that Biff drives back to give young Biff the almanac. And then there's the one that Doc has buried in the mind.
Yeah.
So in Back to the Future 2, there are 4 time machines in the same area.
That's complicated.
Someone brought that up, and I counted them up. I was just like 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my God, you're right.
That is crazy. That is nuts.
Yeah.
Do you have any
Sorry,
other?
off the level lad.
No, you're cool. I was going to ask
Okay.
Liz if she had any more like show and tell that she wanted to give everybody, because otherwise I got something.
It's. I feel like you guys would not be impressed. Not gonna lie. So I think a lot of people who followed me in the last couple years on Twitter is because I was selling off a lot of crappy manga I didn't want. And I had some really rare stuff and stuff I didn't care about, and I sold actually for a good price. But I still have things of people occasionally messaging me like, "Hey, do you still got this? Do you still want that? Are you gonna sell it?" So I feel like if I show you guys any manga, it's not gonna mean anything to any of you. But I do have a lot of old school crap that kind of like when I was like 12 years old, I bought it and I hung on to it because I'm a kidult. I have a lot of weird, hard to find manga, just simply because I was there when it happened.
By the way, I love that term, kidult. That's perfect. I'm gonna start using
I still like
that.
cartoons and I still like titties, so we're good.
I like cartoons and I'm married, so yeah, checks out.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
So you said you had something else left to show? Was this the thing you were telling us about earlier today?
oh no, that was the Magic collection that I was going to pop that up because
Oh, okay.
I haven't talked about my Magic collection in years. Now, this is something I have to show off because I've seen
I already
plenty
know
of
what it
people.
is.
I've
See it.
seen plenty of people from the old Screw Attack days. They know me. I went by a different name then. You know, there's been some rebranding, but I'm the same guy. And I wouldn't be me. I wouldn't be that old guy who went by the name Debaser from back in the Screw Attack day if I didn't have this thing, right? So everybody knows during the community days, I wrote a little blog of mine. And then for Mortal Kombat X, when that was coming out, when I was writing Screw Attack News, I actually started a column there specifically for Mortal Kombat X. I got paid to write that thing, and it was called Mortal Sunday. And of course, somebody who loves Mortal Kombat that much should have a Mortal Kombat fight stick, baby. They absolutely need a beast like this.
I love that thing. Love it so much.
Wow.
It's so
the
gorgeous.
closest thing I wanted to a fight stick was getting the Hatsune Miku like dance rhythm game buttons. Should have got that at one point. But fight sticks are so expensive, and like to get a good one, you have to spend like a retail brand new like 150 bucks starting. So if you have like a fight stick that you like and love and you can't get it again, like that's awesome.
I don't know how much this retailed for, but there was some really nice people who sold it to me for 60.
Oh yeah, that's good. I think retail it was like 150, 200. I think it was part of the collector's edition with Mortal Kombat 9. Didn't it come with the game too? Yeah.
Yes, that is
There has to have
specifically
been a
Mortal
bundle.
Kombat 9. Now, the fight stick I use for everything else because, I mean, you guys saw the button layout on that Mortal Kombat fight stick. It was a little weird. So if I'm going to play a fight stick with any other fighting game, I've got this razor right here because I'm a razor whore. It's just the way it is. I don't know why all of their products are green and this is blue. I guess because it's PlayStation specific, I couldn't tell you. But Razer, everything is green except this for reasons. But it's much more lightweight than the Mortal Kombat one. So much more lightweight. I can actually do this. Very good button layout if you're wanting to play Street Fighter or anything else you can think of. It actually works. But with the Mortal Kombat fight stick, you're playing Mortal Kombat, and that's about it.
Yeah. Wordman in our Twitch chat's mentioning the Street Fighter 4 arcade stick. I think I mentioned it 2 weeks ago. I have one as well, the Mad Catz one, but I don't have like that big like tournament edition one there. So, yeah, this one. Looking at this now, this one's seen better days. I'm seeing like the white buttons are starting to yellow a little bit. The plastic on it. I had this. I also have it. I can't take it out right now because it's buried under stuff. But I do have the Tekken 6 wireless stick.
Ooh,
Or getting that
wireless one.
The wireless one, yeah, for 360.
So, is there any delay in the inputs with a wireless stick? I'm curious,
I was gonna
legitimately
ask if the
curious.
performance was all right or not, because I would not do wireless if I wanted to do a fighting game. That combined with like internet lag.
I'd have to really like test that out sometime because I don't know. Maybe like I would like download Third Strike Online Edition, maybe like play offline matches with the wireless versus wired and see how I do. But my reaction time is terrible on fighting games, so I probably don't. If there is, I probably wouldn't notice it.
Fair. I've actually sharpened up my reaction time a good bit by listening to some Justin Wong stuff, which I said this I think it was when I was playing Game Days one time. I want to correct myself. Justin Wong quit whatever day job he was working. He quit that sumbitch and was like, I'm Justin Wong. And you can actually go follow his YouTube. He's got great tutorials and everything there. So I've sharpened up really quick with him. The problem is now I can do inputs so quick that in MK11 I fall apart because I'm doing the inputs too quick. It's stupid.
Do you get ahead of yourself, would you say?
Well, to do like combos in like Street Fighter 5, we'll just use that as an example. If you're wanting to do like low kick fireball with Sagat, you've got to like as soon as you hit the button for the low kick, you're starting the motion to do the fireball, and then you hit the kick or punch again.
Mhm.
It's got to be that quick. 1-2, 1-2, and that's how quick the combo is. If you try to do that in MK11, it's not going to register half the stuff you're doing because you're going too fast.
Yeah. That's what I noticed when I was in the stress test for MK1 is I was like my brain was wired for Street Fighter 6 because I've been playing it so much, and then when I go to play MK1 and do all those tests, I was just like, I'm getting bodied because I've just been hardcore playing Street Fighter 6. I can't adapt. So I just like I tested out, I played a few things. It looks pretty. The tag system looks interesting. I'll figure it out when it comes out.
Oh, I gotta talk with you something about Street Fighter 6 after this is over. Just so you know. Something I've noticed we haven't been doing. But I guess the best way to wrap this up, since we've talked about everything, I mentioned this before and I said I didn't want to name drop. When I talked about something I unfortunately had to do ages ago, and it was heartbreaking. That's why I say I am on the march. I am on the march to get another copy of Earthbound. Because once upon a time, I had a copy of Earthbound. And I was younger, and it was either sell it and pay the rent or get evicted. So I had to sell it. I sold it for about $120. Hurt my soul to do it.
Not the worst. Not the worst. Give yourself credit for that.
It was not CIB. And for $120, it damn sure shouldn't be CIB. Because CIB at $120, CIB back then, it still would have been hundreds of dollars. And I sold it for $120. So when I said the price, and I said some folks reached out to me, specifically one, everybody would know when I said his name. And I was just like, are you serious? You wanted the CIB for $120? Sir, what are you thinking? He was a little bit of a professional, shall we say. Yeah. So, per Jared, wanted my Earthbound for $120, complete in box.
Oh, ew. Let's like not talk about him. Ew.
Nobody is getting Earthbound complete in box for $120.
No.
Not now, not 10 years ago. It's not happening. But yes. So Reset Revolution Games and Toys, everybody. If you haven't checked out the store, go ahead and check it out. We've got some NES lots that need to go. They are expensive, but that's because I know what I'm talking about, and I've got them set up wonderfully for you. We have one lot that is amazing with complete in box NES games for $300. We have some that are not complete in box, but I guarantee you either one of these systems are going to boot up first shot because I've tried it myself right here in this very game room you see before you. We have a $300 lot and a $200 lot, and soon enough, you're going to see some Chrono Trigger up on there. So if you're looking for some Chrono Trigger, you know exactly who it's coming from. You know that I'm going to take care of it. I do any sort of cleaning and testing. I do that twice. Once to check it and list. Second, when somebody buys it and before I send it. So you know that you're going to get the best of the best when it comes to anything that you get from there because I'm the guy doing it. That's my little plug. That said, is there anything else anybody would like to say before we wrap this up?
We'll eventually get to streaming officially soon. I am done with summer conventions.
Ooh, okay.
Hey, quiet man.
We're gonna put you on the spot.
Yeah.
We're putting you on the spot because we ask you about that every time. When you're gonna be streaming? When are we getting Quiet Man?
Almost any time now.
Oh.
Almost any time.
Oh, that's
I'm
exciting.
not traveling for a little bit. I have a wedding in 2 months, but that's chill. Okay, that's chill. Don't have to worry about that very much. I really don't. And so maybe I can work on projects, but I hate to break the news to you guys is that I think in the winter I'm gonna have 4 months of winter conventions straight, which is unheard of because all conventions are in the summer. So So I'll be busy in a few months. But in the meantime, I am available. Hopefully I can actually do the things I want to do.
Winter conventions. Do we know one of those?
We could talk about it later.
I
I
think
one
we
of them
might.
is very important. We need to discuss.
I think we might know one of those. Johnny, what are you going to be doing in the next coming weeks until we see you here again?
Well, right now on streaming side, I'm actually playing through Zelda Minish Cap. Been loving that so far. Like, so different from like any other. Well, I mean, as far as like learning abilities, it's like different from the other 2D Zelda games I've played. I just wrapped up Gravity Circuit, it's a new 2D indie game that just came out. If you love Mega Man X, Bionic Commando, and Street Fighter 2010, this is a great game. You should pick it up. It's on PS4, PS5, Switch, and Steam. I play through on my. I have a raw channel where I just throw up all my streams. But I'm going to be doing I haven't done a review in a game in a very long time, but I love this game so much. I feel like I want to talk about it. So I'm going to do a little mini review on that. Let's see, I'm doing a little project of playing a bunch of every single Bionic Commando game that's ever been released. So been inspired to do one of those big long marathon videos. So that'll be coming up soon. Other than that, wife and I are going to start up Halo 3 ODST on Tuesday. This should be fun. We haven't done a Halo game in a while, so
Fucking love
I'm gonna go back to
ODST.
Jonathan there. Yep. I mean, I do have spots open if anyone wants to hop in and do the co-op with us.
I might have to join you.
Yeah. And also too, over you and I, we co-host over on Game Days for Good. We're ramping up for a big month of killer streams for the month of August. I can't go into full detail on that, but to steal from Bull and from Hang Time, every stream is going to be a banger. It's gonna be a great time, and I hope you guys will join us for that. That's over on Game Days for Good.
We've got a lot of good stuff cooking up for Game Days for Good. If that's something that you're not following, you should. Go ahead and do that right now. Twitch.tv/Game Days for Good. Check that out. Both Johnny and I are hosts on that. And like he said, we've got some crazy stuff coming up for August. So if you're looking for some good, fun entertainment to wrap up your summer, we got you. Check that out. What we're doing over on Co-op Campus, we've been absent for a little bit, but we're hoping to jump back into it. Now, I can't promise you that because there's been a problem. I gotta be real with you for a second, guys. There's a problem. Pikmin 4 came out. And I don't know what's going to happen. I really can't tell you what's going to happen because I've got a confession. I fucking love Pikmin. Love it to pieces. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'd love to play it on Co-op Campus, but there's a problem there. The word co-op is in that. So you can't do a whole lot of Co-op Campus with a single player game. But also It Takes Two is just released on PlayStation. So we might go back to It Takes Two. There's plenty of different Xbox games that we could pull out and play as well, just like Johnny's talking about with Melanie. So you'll just have to tune in and see what we have available. Along with that, I'm sure I'm going to do some solo stuff where I'm playing more, I almost said more Halo. No, not more Halo. More Fortnite. Because the season is still going. I'm very close to getting Optimus. I want Optimus.
There.
And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to get Battle Damage Optimus.
Yeah.
So, Patrick, what you have to do with Co-op Campus is that you need to make challenges for yourself with single-player games.
Ooh.
So, do something where, you're playing a single-player game and maybe one person does, the navigation, somebody does, the combat and fighting, in an RPG, or if you're playing, an action game, you swap turns every other death or two. And especially if you're in, a death-crazy area where you're going to die a lot and you got to swap back and forth, someone's got bragging rights if they beat that area. Don't just limit yourself with only co-op games if you truly want to play a single-player game together. There are ways to do it, to set up rules and or challenges. So think about it. Think about it.
I think that's a really good point. And we could come up with some really awesome things. If you guys can think of some challenges you'd like to see the wife, Dana, and I do, Just throw them out there.
Oh.
The only thing that's fairly off limits is don't choose a Souls game. Don't do that to me. She
No.
will rage, and if she doesn't kill me, she might break something in the room. So please don't do that. It's off
Oh.
limits.
I know it's gonna be me when we play Elder Scrolls, because I'm gonna have a backseat gamer. No, do something where you play like one of your games that you're so into that they haven't played, and you be the backseat gamer, and you just piss each other. Like there's boundless entertainment. You gotta make up rules and figure out how to do it.
So be on the lookout for that. That said, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode of The Reset Button. That was The Collector's Tale, Episode 7. Guys, thank you so much for all the support here at Reset Press. We appreciate you. You have a lovely night. Thank you so much for checking out this episode of The Reset Button. If you like the podcast, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you'll be updated whenever there's a new episode or various clips that we produce. We appreciate all your support.